You're exhausted. Your muscles cramp for no reason. You feel weak in a way that doesn't match your life. So you do the responsible thing. You get your blood tested. And a few days later, the results come back. Normal. All of it, including your potassium, sitting comfortably right in the middle of the range. So it can't be that, right? Here's the uncomfortable truth. That potassium number might be the single most misleading value on the entire page. Not because the test is broken, but because of what that number is quietly, desperately protecting. Let's start with what potassium even does, because it's easy to underrate. Potassium is the spark. Every heartbeat, every nerve signal firing in your brain right now, every time a muscle contracts, all of it runs on potassium, moving in and out of your cells. But here's the first strange fact. Almost all of your potassium, around 98% of it, is hidden inside your cells. Only about 2% floats out in your blood, and that 2% is the only part a standard blood test can see. The rest, the vast reserve sitting in your muscles, is completely invisible to it. Now, why does that matter? Because of how your body treats that little 2% in your blood. The difference in potassium between the inside and the outside of your cells sets the electrical charge across every cell membrane you have. And nothing depends on that charge more than your heart. If the potassium in your blood drifts even slightly, too low or too high, your heart's rhythm can begin to destabilize. We're talking dangerous, sometimes fatal arrhythmias, fast. So your body does not gamble with that number. It guards it like a fortress. If your blood potassium starts to dip, your body pulls potassium out of your own cells to top it back up. It commands your kidneys to stop letting any escape. It does whatever it takes to keep that blood level pinned inside a narrow band, roughly 3.5 to 5, no matter what your diet is doing. And that defense is so effective that you can change your potassium intake enormously, and the number in your blood will barely move. Which tells you something profound about what that test is really measuring. It is loyal to your heartbeat. It is not loyal to your diet. So here is the trap this whole video is named after. You can be under-eating potassium for months, for years. The reserves inside your cells can be quietly running low, and that number in your blood can still read a perfectly reassuring normal, because your body is busy robbing those very reserves to keep the blood level looking fine. This isn't a fringe idea. Major scientific bodies state it plainly. Serum potassium is not a sensitive indicator of whether you're actually getting enough. It answers a different, more urgent question. Is my heart safe right now? And it answers that one brilliantly. But a normal result and a real dietary shortfall can sit side by side, completely undetected. So what would low potassium actually feel like? The classic signs are fatigue, muscle weakness, cramps and spasms, constipation, and sometimes palpitations, that fluttering, skipped beat feeling. But I want to be honest with you here because a lot of health content isn't. Mild potassium depletion is often completely silent. The dramatic symptoms usually only show up when levels get genuinely low. And plenty of what people blame on low potassium, leg cramps especially, is frequently something else entirely, like simple dehydration or low magnesium. So please don't diagnose yourself from a cramp. Because the real danger of chronically low intake usually isn't a dramatic symptom at all. It's what builds silently underneath. Consistently low potassium is linked to higher blood pressure, greater stroke risk, more kidney stones, and weaker bones over time, often with no warning signs, often with a completely normal lab panel. That is the part that should actually get your attention. Now, when potassium genuinely does drop, it's usually not diet alone doing it. It's losses. The single most common culprit is a class of drugs called diuretics, water pills, taken by millions for blood pressure. They make you flush out fluid, and they carry potassium out with it. Vomiting, diarrhea, and laxative overuse drain it too. So do certain hormone conditions. And then there's the twist that almost nobody talks about: magnesium. If your magnesium is low, your kidneys start leaking potassium, no matter how much potassium you eat. Worse, in that state, you often cannot refill your potassium until the magnesium is corrected first. The two deficiencies travel together, and they hide behind each other constantly. which is why chasing potassium alone while ignoring magnesium so often fails. Meanwhile, in the background of all of this, most of us are simply running short. Potassium is officially classified as a nutrient of public health concern because so few people get enough. The recommended intake for adults sits around 2,600 to 3,400 milligrams a day. The average person gets roughly 2,500. And by one national estimate, only about 3% of adults hit the higher, older target. Our diets are, in a sense, backwards, flooded with sodium from processed food and starved of potassium. The exact opposite of the balance our bodies were tuned for. Here's the good news, though. The fix here is food, not a pill, food. And it's genuinely easy and pleasant. Start with the humble potato, because the famous banana is honestly overrated. A single baked potato has more than twice the potassium of one. From there, it gets simple. Vegetables carry it well, leafy greens like spinach, along with avocado and tomatoes. Meat contributes a real amount too, which is worth knowing if you eat that way. And coconut water is one of the richest natural sources you can drink. Put those four together, potatoes, vegetables, meat, and coconut water, and clearing your target stops being a challenge. And here's the part that matters most. When potassium comes from whole food, it arrives slowly, buffered by water and fiber, and bundled with magnesium, the very cofactor you now know you need. Your body absorbs it gently, the way it's meant to. That is completely different from dropping a concentrated dose straight into your blood all at once, which is exactly why, with healthy kidneys, it's almost impossible to overdo potassium from food, and exactly why a pill is a different story entirely. If you actually want to see where you stand, a tool like Chronometer will show you your real potassium intake, alongside 80+ other nutrients, and for most people, that number is a genuine wake-up call. Treat the recommended amount as a floor to clear, not a ceiling. And a quick note for the curious, if you truly wanted to measure your intake, a 24-hour urine collection reflects it far better than a single blood draw ever could. Now, one serious thing before we finish, and please don't skip it, because potassium cuts both ways. Too much potassium in your blood is every bit as dangerous as too little. The same rhythm, the same risk. So this is absolutely not a go start megadosing potassium pills video. If you have any kidney condition, and early kidney disease is often completely silent, or if you take common blood pressure medications like ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or potassium-sparing diuretics, then extra potassium, including the potassium chloride hiding in many salt substitutes, can become dangerous very fast. For you, this is strictly a conversation with your doctor. That's the entire reason supplements are capped so low. Food, for healthy kidneys, is the safe lane. So the next time a report tells you your potassium is normal, remember exactly what that word is telling you. It's telling you your heart is safe today. It is not telling you your diet is. Those were always two different questions, and only one of them ever shows up on the page. If this changed how you read a single line on a lab report, save it somewhere, you'll find it again. And if you want me to break down the magnesium side of this, the deficiency that hides behind this one constantly, tell me in the comments. That might be the one to do next.